I'm 39 years old, and I used to. Well, I'm gonna take you back to my childhood. At the age of 3 years old, my mom, who birthed me here, left me and my brother in the house while she went to go get drugs. And someone in the neighborhood called diapers on her, and we was placed in a foster care system. They say that me and my brother went from home to home, but I don't remember that, but I do remember when we got in the foster home. And the foster home was on West Kenny Street, and it was a lady by the name of Anita Smith who took in foster kids. At the age of 10 years old, well, back in track to my childhood, when we used to go see my mother at diapers, I used to go always ask my mom, "Mommy, when you coming to get us?" And she was like, "I'm coming to get y'all." And we used to go see her from time to time, but there was a lot of times when there wasn't visits. They would say that something came up that y'all couldn't come. So one day it was on 3rd grade, and I remember I came from school. My foster mother brought me and my brother, and she sat us down, and she said, "I got something to tell y'all." And she said, "You know how someone dies?" She said something like that, but she was trying to break it down to us. And before she got finished, I ran out the room, and I said, I told my mother to stop smoking them cigarettes, because when I was little, when she used to come and visit us, she always say, "Mom, why you gotta smoke them cigarettes?" Long story short, we was told that my mom had passed away, and I ran out the room and cried. And the foster mother took us to the funeral home, which was Perry's Funeral Home, and we was looking for the body, and I said, "Oh, there she go," and she was in a pink dress, and she had passed away of a drug addiction, which I didn't find out till years later. Fast forwarding, a lot of things went on in the foster home, which wasn't a good foster home and stuff like that. Me and my brother was tortured verbally and physically, and made to do punishments and stuff like that. So I used to always say, I can't wait to get out this house. And that day finally came at the age of 17 years old. I went downtown to write statistics, and I wanted to find out how my mother died, and I found out how my mom died, which was a drug overdose. And I went back to my foster mother, and I said, I found out how my mother died. And she said, "If you wanted to find out how your mother died, you could have came to me and you could have asked me, and I would have told you." Which was a lie, because she threw it up in my brother's face all the time when we was coming up in the foster home. "I got some papers on you that if I show you, you wouldn't understand it." So from that point on, I left home at the age of 17 years old, and I was living out in the streets and stuff like that. While I was in the streets, I started dealing drugs and stuff like that, and just was hanging out in the streets and enjoyed the street life and stuff like that, because my foster mom was a mean mother and stuff like that. She didn't let us go outside, and when we would go out, we had to be in before dark, and she was real strict and stuff like that. So fast forwarding, while I was out in the street life and stuff like that, I met a drug dealer who was murdered and stuff like that, and it was something I never experienced in my life. And I continued to deal drugs and stuff like that, and as I progressed in drug dealing, I broke one of the biggest rules, which is never get high off your own supply. And I started getting high on drugs and stuff like that. And the only good thing that I could say came out of my drug addiction was I got to understand my mother's drug addiction and why she couldn't come and get me and stuff like that. And you know, I did get cleaned up and stuff like that, and I started working with youth and stuff like that. But before I started working with youth, I got a job working at the Newark International Airport, working various jobs. And after various jobs, working at the airport, I started working in the group home with kids and stuff like that. And when I started working in the group home with kids, I was like, this is what I love to do. And I loved it and stuff like that. Driving them around, feeding them, clothing them, and just taking them to different stuff. I worked for 3 different group homes, and I'm not going to get any names and stuff like that. But I will share with y'all that after working in a group home, my foster mother had died, and I was in the church preaching and stuff like that, and I eulogized her funeral. And after I eulogized her funeral, I had a nervous breakdown. And after I had the nervous breakdown, I tried to find work again, which I had lost my job because the company folded. And I tried to find work and stuff like that, and I got depressed because I couldn't find work. And I picked up and I started getting high and stuff like that. After I got high, well, prior to me getting high, I went out and did a crime and stuff like that and went to prison. And you know, I had got mad with God because I said, if I'm doing all this preaching, how can you cause me to have a nervous breakdown? And that's how I got in trouble with the law and stuff like that. So only thing that I could say that led to my homelessness is my drug addiction and stuff like that, and my mental illness and stuff like that. And that's all I'm gonna share.
Story, man.